Everyone. I welcome to Mr. Sunil Zondale sir on behalf of Parul Institute of Applied Science, Department of Food Technology, Parul University, Baroda, Gujarat. Mr. Sunil Zondale sir is presented the topic of career opportunities in food sector. And before to start the webinar, I will introduce about the expert, Mr. Sunil Zondale sir, currently working as a Central Food Safety Officer at Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, New Delhi, from 15 April 2021 onwards. Sir has also worked as an assistant professor at College of Food Technology, Naigaon, district Nanded, Maharashtra during 2017 to 2019. Sir has also worked as an assistant manager at a Bank of India from 16 October 2019 to 14 April 2021. So definitely your experience and knowledge help us to our students. I kindly request to Mr. Sunil Jondal sir, please continue the session.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for such a nice introduction. I welcome all participants to this session. Good morning to everybody. Let me first thank the Parul University for inviting me to this session. First of all, I thank Academic Director Dr. Babita Chobe, madam. I'm thankful to Principal Dr. Trilok Akhani, sir. Then I must thank Head of the Department, Mr. Ashish Todkar, sir. Then again, I must thank to moderator Mr. Bodhankar sir. Okay, and at the last, thank you to all participants. Today we will discuss on the career opportunities on in food sector. Okay, so let's jump direct to the presentation. Okay, everybody of us want a job, right? That's why we are studying. We are studying to get a job. We want everybody of us to in a good position, right? So this is the main aim of our studying. So in this session we will be discussing what are the career opportunities in food sector, and how you will get the job, and what are different set of skills required to get the job and to grow into that job, right? So let's start. Before going for job opportunities, you must understand the current scenario of food sector in our country. Okay, that is very much important, because you must know the scenario where you will get a job in future. If you don't have idea about what exactly that sector works, how exactly that sector works, and what are the requirements to get a job, you will you will be finding some difficulties in getting the job. Okay, so it is important to understand the sector first. That's why I will give some insights what exactly food sectors current scenario in our country is. Okay, so you all know that uh, any sector which is well developed will create employment. If the sector is not growing, there will not be any new employment generation, right? So in the case of food sector, this sector is growing year by year. Okay, so there is a growth. If growth is there, then employment is there. Okay, so there are a lot of opportunities in food sector that we will see as we move further. uh, in the case of India, we rank first in different commodities. In the production of different commodities, India ranks first. For example, in the production of milk, in the production of ghee, pulses, ginger, banana, gawa, papaya, mango, India ranks first. Okay, it means we have a tremendous potential, because we are producing commodities in a major quantity, right? So if the commodity is available, raw material is available, then that sector is having a potential. And again, India ranks second in the production of rice, wheat, and many other fruits and vegetables. Okay, so in short, we are a leader in production. If we are leader in production, then it is simply we can say that we are having a tremendous potential in a food processing sector. Okay. And if you talk about the growth of food processing sector in India, since last 5 years our sector is growing at the rate of 10%, at the annual growth rate of 10%. Okay. So this growth is quite high as compared to other sectors. Then in the case of food product industry, if you compare this industry with other manufacturing industries, food industry sector has a largest factories. Okay. If you take other examples of automobile industry or any other industry, the food industries in our India, the number of factories of food industry are largest, okay, as compared to other. So it means food sector has a potential to grasp uh, more number of people as compared to other sectors. So there are tremendous opportunities in this sector to work. Okay. Let me give you some insights of employment in a food processing sector. I have some data here. In a food processing industry, uh, if you compare the percent share of the people works in the food processing sector is 12%, around 12%, 12.38%, which is quite high. Okay. And if you compare the persons working in a food processing sector which is unincorporated, the percent is 14%. uh, Again, this percent is quite high. 12% people are sharing the food processing sector with other industries. That is quite that is quite high. I'm sorry for that. Okay. In the next graph, you can clearly see the persons engaged in registered food process industries is increasing. Okay, since last 3 to 4 years, the persons who are engaged in the food processing sector is increasing, and this scenario will continue in the future as well. You will get to know how this scenario will continue. Okay. Okay, to understand what are the job opportunities in a food sector, and why this sector is having a tremendous potential, one must know the how much investment does this sector is getting every year. Okay, so from this graph you will have a clear idea that this sector is getting investment every year, and that investment is increasing. Right, for example, from since 2010 11 to 2017 18, the investment in the food sector or fixed capital in the food processing sector is has increased. Okay. In 2017 or 2017 18, it was 2,45,000 crores. That much amount was invested in the food processing sector in India, and this will grow as it as this trend is continuing. Okay, the similar, we can see similar trend in the future as well. So it means if a particular sector is getting investment, then that sector will grow. If that sector grows, employment generation is there. Okay. And now government of India has allowed 100% FDI, foreign direct investment, in the food sector. So this will again going to impact this sector in a positive way. Okay. So there are a lot of opportunities you people will get, whether you are BSc food science or whether you are MSc food science or BSc food tech, MSc food tech. It will definitely get a job in future because this food sector is growing year by year and is having tremendous potential. Okay. uh, okay, we have seen the food processing scenario in a brief. Let me give you some ideas about the export of India's food export to the world. If you compare India's food export to overall export, okay, the amount of money we generate from exporting our various commodities to world, if you compare food export to the total export, food contributes around 12% or 11%, we can say. So 11% is quite high. Food contributes 11%. That means export of India or export business in food sense is quite high. So you can have opportunities there as well in export. or you can start your export business as well, or you can work with the export authorities or authorities of India which control the export of food commodities like apeda mpeda. For more information, you can go to their site and you can have some information regarding openings with apeda mpeda, or they also provide some incentives to start a business. You can have that benefit as well. Okay, so I recommend you to visit websites of apeda mpeda, tea board, spice board, where you can find definitely useful information. Okay. Okay, let me give in a brief idea about FDA equity inflow to food processing industry. Why this is important? Because if the sector gets FDI, foreign direct investment, this will definitely going to impact that sector in a positive way. If you see the trend, we are constantly getting the particular amount of FDI in a food sector since 2014-15. In 13-14, the FDI was quite high. It was around 25,000 crores. Okay, after that, the trend is quite constant. We are getting around 4,000 or 3,500 crores of FDI every year. And now, as I have already told you, that government of India have allowed 100% FDI in food sector. So the FDI in future will definitely increase. If investment increase, the sector will grow in a positive direction. If sector is growing, the employment generation will be there. Definitely employment generation will be there. Okay. So in the future, coming future, you will see job opportunities in this sector. Now, why do you think that India market has a potential? This is very important. There are 5 to 6 parameters who can define that why Indian food market has a potential, why someone can grow working in a food sector, whether it is whether as an employee or whether as a entrepreneur. Okay, so there are 6 major reasons why Indian food market is having potential. As I have already told, the first reason is 100% DI is allowed. Okay, then the proactive government policies and fiscal incentives. These days, what is happening in India is designing policies in such a way that it is benefiting food sector in a direct or indirect way. Okay, it's benefiting small scale ABOs, medium scale ABOs, and large ABOs as well. Okay, and government is also providing incentives to the food business operators so that they can grow the business in a positive direction. So this is again government's role in the Indian market to grow. Okay. So then next reason is we are the second largest country as far as population is concerned. So if the population is high, then it means we are having consumers. We don't need to find any other market for consumers. We are having lots of consumers in our country. Okay, so there are a lot of consumers available. You can start your business, or uh, if the consumers are high, demand for food will be high. If the demand for food is high, then the industries who are working in the food sector will grow. If they grow, then employment generation will be there. The next reason is largest producer of several agri commodities. As we have seen in the first slide, very first slide, that we are leader in production of various commodities like rice, wheat, fruits and vegetable, papaya, banana, mango, etc. Okay, so if we are producing that commodities in higher quantities, then definitely there is a potential. Again, we are fifth largest economy in the world. Okay, so economy again will directly impact the food sector in a positive way, and it is estimated that India's retail market will reach 1.3 trillion US dollar by 2025. If the market grow, or you can see clearly that 1.3 trillion US dollar means it is not a small amount. It is quite high. So this will again going to impact food sector in a positive way. Okay. we have a brief idea about the Indian food sector, how it is growing, how FDI is coming, or how we are producing different commodities in major quantities, how we are leader there. Okay, so after having idea, let us have some insights over the career. Because we are studying, you all are studying to have a good job, right? So being a BSc food technologist or BSc food science or MSc food science or MSc food technologist, you are going to have jobs. Definitely you don't have to worry about that. Just complete your base and try for jobs. Okay. Why do you think that food industry need food technologist? There are two reasons. One is survival and growth. Okay, any food industry to survive will need a food technologist definitely. But I can I must add here that the survival of food industry is possible if there are no food technologists. That is quite possible because they will hire some chemical engineers, they will hire some nutritionists, they will hire other peoples or microbiologists, etc. to survive. Survive possible. So do you think growth of food industry is possible without food technologists? No. There we come to help them. Okay. The food industry will not grow without food technologist. That's what I think. So to grow, survival and growth is different. To grow, food industry needs food technologist. And as we have seen that there are lacks of food industries or more factories as compared to other sectors we have in our country. So to grow them, to help them, they will need food technologists and they will hire you people. Okay. I have given some examples what kind of roles the food industry offers to food technologists, and there are some in government as well. For example, industry they will hire you as a food scientist, food technologist, food chemist, food inspector, sales manager, brand manager, or food process specialist, etc. As in government, there are various roles you can go to. For example, you can go to professorship or lectureship, but for that you need to have a PhD degree. Then again in FSSAI, which is a regulating body that our country have, there are various roles you can go to. For example, assistant director, uh, assistant director technical, then central food safety officer, technical officer, then food analyst, etc. Okay, there are this kind of posts available with FSSAI. Then in FCA, you can have assistant general manager post available for food technologist. Of course, this competition, other people are also able for this post, but you can positive have this post because syllabus in the posts of FSA is from food. Again, in IAS, we do understand there is post of food scientist. For this post, you will need to have additional qualification, get graduate degree tested engineering, qualify that, and you will be eligible for this post. Okay. Then again, in NABARD, there are also some available for technologists. Okay, this is just what the post you will get after completing the degree program or master program. Okay, here are some competitors in India. Not necessarily you will get job in food industries only. There are tremendous lakhs of food industries available working in a food sector. So you definitely get a job in food industry. You don't have to worry about that. I've just given some examples of top food industries for country like Dollar Group, Jordan, PepsiCo India, then Mondelez, Conagra, ITC, Nestle, etc. If you get a job in the top food industry of a country, that's completely fine, and that will impact your career in a positive direction. But it doesn't mean that if you don't get a job in top food industries of our country, that you will not grow in your career. It is not like that. So don't worry about the brand. Just take what you are getting. Just join the industry which you are getting. Okay. For more information, I have some numbers here. Like in our country, we have almost 69,000 central licensed food business operators and almost 14 lakh 70,000 state licensed BOs. So you can see from these numbers how many food industries are working in our country. Almost 15 lakhs. Okay, they are having license, and almost 67 lakh are registered ABO, right? It means the number of ABOs or food industries working in our country is quite high. So there are job opportunities definitely. You don't worry about them. Let me give some ideas about what kind of departments are there and what of your job roles will be there, and how you can grow in your career. Okay, in a food industry there are various departments like quality, production, R&D, marketing, sales, regulatory, procurement. And not necessary that food industry will have these departments only. Okay, many food industries will have more departments as for their working area, as for their size, etc. They will have more departments as well. But I have mentioned here some important departments. And to get a job, you just need your degree. But to grow in your career, you need to have some set of skills. Okay, I have mentioned some common set of skills required to grow in your career. If you get a job, it doesn't mean that without having any set of skills you will grow in your career. You need to have definitely some set of skills. There are some inherent skills persons having, like naturally we are having some skills, and we have to develop some skills. Okay, for example, a knowledge of product. If you're working in a food industry, and if you don't know what exactly the product you are processing with, definitely it will affect your career in a negative way. You must be aware what exactly the product is working on, how the techno commercial aspects are there. Okay, again, knowledge of machines or equipments is necessary. The persons who are working in a production needs to have knowledge of machines and equipments. That is very important to the person who is working in a production. Okay, then again, knowledge of process development. If you are working in a R&D, knowledge of process development is must. Because in R&D you will develop some processes, you will develop some products. Okay, to develop product or to develop a process, you must have ideas about how that process development is how that process development works, right? Then again, regulatory framework is very important in to a person who is working in R&D sector. Why regulatory framework is important? Because if you are working in India, you must know what exactly regulations are there for food. If you don't know the regulation, how you will design your product, right? So you must know the regulations of the country where you are working. If you are working in a foreign countries like USA, UK, or Canada, you must know their regulations as well. Okay, and if you are working in India, you must know Indian regulations regarding food. The next skill is negotiation skill. Okay, if you are working in a marketing or sales department of food industry, you will need this skill. And okay, why or what is the role of food technologist in a sales or marketing department? For example, you're working with the ingredient industry or flavor industry. Let's say you're a flavor technologist or flavorist. You've got a job in a flavor industry. That flavor industry's business will be main business will be B2B business, business to business, right? that flavor industry will sell their flavors to other food industry, where that food industry needs some flavors to incorporate in their products, right? So this is B2B business. In this case, the technical persons are required. Why? Because technical persons know about the techno commercial aspects of that particular ingredient or particular flavor. If a person is not having technical knowledge, that person will not be able to negotiate in a better way or a precise way, right? So to explain or increase the business of a particular industry in a better way, that industry needs a technical persons in their sales department. So here comes the food technologist role. Okay. Then scale up skills. If you are working in R&D, you must have scale up skill, because if you are developing a new product, that product has to be scaled up in a future, right? So you must know what exactly the process of scaling up, what are the machineries you have in your industry, and how you will scale the product you have developed. Okay. You must have clear ideas about this. If you have such skills, you will grow in your career very quickly. Then communication skill is very important. Again, in the case of marketing and sales department, communication skill is very important. Then human resource management skill, this skill is very important to a person who is working in a production department, because in a production department, the human resource management is a major part or major aspect of a production department. If you're working in a production department, you will need to handle hundreds of people working there. Okay, if you cannot handle the few number of people, then it will be very difficult to work in that department. So human resource handling or human resource management skills are very important. I request all participants just to develop these skills I have mentioned to grow in your career. Okay. Then again, knowledge of quality is required to work in a quality department. Okay. As I have explained various departments of food industry, let me explain few departments which are more preferred by food technologists. Departments like R&D, departments like quality and production. These are more preferred departments, and it doesn't mean that the people working in these departments will have a better career. So don't think like that. Don't have that dilemma in your mind. So other departments are equally important, and you will have a better career in other departments as well. Okay. So remove from your mind that if you get a job in R&D, then only you will grow in your career. That's not the thing. Okay. To grow in a department, there are some set of skills required. In R&D or within R&D department, you have diversified career. Like R&D sector requires food developers. Required developers. They require food analysts. They require sensory scientists. People who know the sensory science will have a bright career in this sector, because every industry, majority industry, we can say, is sensory scientist. Okay. So if you want to go there in a sensory science, just develop your skills, know all about sensory science, how it is done. Okay. You will get a job there definitely. Then what exactly skills required to grow in R&D sector are know everything about product. You must know everything about product on your on which working. Okay. If you know the product, then it will develop the process and other things. You must know the quality aspects of your product, how exactly quality is maintained, what different quality checkpoints are there. You must know all about the quality. Then you must be good in equipment understanding. To if you are working in R&D and you are trying to develop some products, then you must have idea about equipments and machineries. Okay. It is required to scale up that product. Then you must know the regulations, as we already discussed about that. If you know regulation, then you will develop a product which can comply with the regulations of that particular country. If the product is not complying with the regulation, that it will be of no use. Okay, so the knowing regulation is must to grow in R&D sector. Then I have mentioned some skills required to grow in a quality department. Of course, you must know the quality aspects of your product. You must be good in that. Then understanding of machinery and equipment is again required in the quality department. You must know the various aspects of your product, and again in quality department you must know the regulations. Okay, in the case of production department, there are these kind of skills you must have, like understanding of machineries and people management. These two skills are must if you wants to grow in a production department. You must have understanding of machineries. You must have understanding of equipments, and you must know how to handle peoples, how people management is done. Is very important. Okay, and you should have some knowledge of food science to grow in this in this particular department. Okay, now basic idea of how to get a job and what kind of skills required to grow in that job. Okay, then let me give you some insights of the future of food industry in the country. As we have already discussed that the food sector in India is growing day by day. It will have positive impact over the employment, and it will have positive impact to the country as a whole. Okay, it is contribute food sector is contributing quite high in India's growth, and in the coming future as well we will see similar trend. Okay, so for instance, if you look at the numbers of FDA that we got since 7.5 billion US dollar. In 17 years, we got $7.5 billion of area, and now as India has allowed 100% food sector, it is expected or is a potential to attract a 33 billion US dollar investment in coming 10 years. Okay, the number is quite high. 7 compared to 33 billion is quite high. So, this will definitely going to generate millions of jobs in food sector. Like for example, I mentioned 9 million. This is expected to generate 9 million jobs in food sector in coming a few years. Okay. Then again, e-commerce giants like Amazon trying to enter the food market. They are trying to enter the retailing sector by investing 515 million US dollar in the next 5 years. So you will see there are openings for food technologist in Amazon as well in a coming future. Then again, US-based company called Cargill aims to increase their presence in a country by doubling the retail reach to about 8 lakh outlets. They are planning to be a lead in sunflower oil category by doubling their retail reach. Okay, so again, these are examples how food sector is growing and how it will grow in the future. So there are a lot of food industries who have planned their next 5 years, who have planned next 10 years, and how they will grow, how they will require food technologies, etc. So definitely, not only this industry, other industries will also have job opportunities for food scientists, food students. Then again, you must have heard about Uber. Uber Technologies is also launched Uber 8. It is they will start their service in the Indian market soon. Okay, so that few examples how investment is coming in India. Again, this is very important to start your own startup. If you want to be an entrepreneur or successful businessman, you can think about this definitely. Government of India is providing support to the new entrepreneurs through various schemes like Startup India, Make in India. Government of India start mega food parks as well, where you will get well set plots. You don't need to have think about other facilities there. You will be have a well developed plot there. You just have to go there and start your business. Okay, so take care of your citizens, and if you are having any plan of starting a business, definitely go for that. This thinking will have employment for you as well and will create employment for other people as well. Okay, so definitely you can think about this. Okay,
Hello,
how we
Zondale
will
sir.
do the job hunting?
Hello.
Yes,
So I think your
yes, sir.
voice is too much breaking. So let me check whether it is network is good. I think your voice is breaking.
Working. Since Wednesday we are working with slide, so I will repeat it there.
Yes.
Uh,
So if you want you off your camera
this.
because you consume more internet. So
Okay, let me stop the camera sharing.
yes. So it's better because your voice is too breaking. So
Mm,
it's fully depend upon network issue. So best way you just stop your camera
how
if
can I
possible.
stop camera, sir?
You
Please
just
help.
click on
How
your
can I stop the camera?
you just click on your camera that is on and off. That's it. Otherwise, right now your voice is clearly okay.
Okay, okay. Let's stop the camera sharing, but I'm not getting the option here.
Anyway, sir. Anyway, right now your voice is clearly audible to me and all of us. So you just continue.
Okay, okay. It is audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Audible.
okay. So, should I repeat the slides?
No, sir. You just present current slide. Start the current slide.
Okay, okay. How will you search for a job? There are
Sir,
various ways available for job
okay.
hunting.
Sir, your PPT is
Hello.
not presenting. Right. Yes. Done. Right. Okay, sir. Continue.
Okay, okay. Is it visible now?
Right. Visible.
Okay. So I was talking about the job hunting. We have the brief idea of what exactly food sector in India is and how it is growing, and we have also seen some set of skills required to get a job, and we have seen some examples of top recruiters in India. We have again seen how to grow in a career. Okay, if you complete your degree program or your master program, you will need a job. Many of you will need a job, and most of you maybe go for higher studies like PhD if you are having interest in that. So, to the people who need a job, how they will find job? There are various ways. Like they can contact the industry directly. They can send their CVs to the email IDs or the contact person mentioned in their website. The students can directly send their CVs to them. This is the proven method of getting job. There are many peoples who have got job in this way as well. Okay, if the campus placements are there, that is completely okay, completely fine. That will add additional benefit to the student. If the companies are coming to the campus and recruiting people there, that will be fine, and that will give additional chance for students to get a job. Okay, then again, through references, this is quite referred method. I must request all of you to build contacts. Okay, contact building is very much important in getting a job. Okay, keep contacts with your seniors who are in the job. Keep contact with your teachers, and again, uh, made some contacts through social medias as well, like LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Facebook. In today's world, these social media platforms are working or providing some platforms to students to find the job. Okay, so you can find people's working in the industry through these social media platforms. Okay, contact them. If they are having openings, they will definitely let you know, and you will definitely have a chance to go there. Okay. Now, what should be your priorities now? If you say if you completed your degree, and your first priority should be to get a job. If you are not planning to go for higher studies and like PhD or master's degree, then get you should try to get a job and should get whatever job you are getting. Okay, that is very important, because don't think that or don't have dilemma in your mind that you cannot shuffle your position or cannot shuffle your job profile in future. No, it is not like that. You will see many people who have suffered from quality to R&D, R&D to quality, from production to quality, production to R&D sector. Okay, so it is not like that. You will not be able to shuffle from a particular department to the other department. Okay, just remove that dilemma from your mind. Just get a job, whatever you are getting, join there, and whatever set of skill is required to that particular position, develop that skills. Okay, if you are having inherent skills, that is okay, that will be additional point to your profile. And if you are not having any particular skill, just develop that. Okay, that is very important to grow uh, in your career. Okay, and again, you must have a clear mindset about your career. You should not be having dilemma in your mind. Should I go for PG programs, or should I join a job, or should I go for PhD, etc. Just clear your mind about your career, whether you wants to join a job or whether you wants to go for a PG studies. Okay, this will depend on various parameters like your priorities or your family condition, and what goals you have set and what effect on your life. Okay, so this will depend on various factors. I just want to say that keep your mind clear. That will definitely help you grow in your career. Okay, okay, that's what from me. At the end, I must say that be at home, stay safe, help needy persons, because we are going through a pandemic. We are worst hit country in the world. So you can help needy persons as and when possible, and follow pandemic protocols. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Delivered such an informative session given about for this topic, career opportunities in food sector. I'm sure our students will take advantage such opportunities. And once again, thank you, sir, to give us your valuable time to our students. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, Bodhankar sir, and the whole Parul University team for inviting me here. And students can contact me if they need any help through Bodhankar sir or any other teachers from your university. Okay, thank you. Stay safe, stay
Yes, sir.
healthy. Thank you so much.
Obviously, sir, whenever our students need, so definitely I will contact you regarding to many students are interested to join the food industry and regarding to research and development sector as well as quality assurance and quality control sectors. So obviously, in that case, definitely we will contact you.
Sure, sure, sir.
So thank you, sir,
Thank
once
you.
again.
Okay, sir. Okay, should I end the session, sir?
Uh, yeah, yes, sir.